Why do I dislike suburbia? Because of the background noise. Hear the dog? Yeah, that's not mine, by the way. The Budget Bladorama. This is all my stuff. A lot of you have more than this. But I'm not ashamed of my collection. This is all stuff I've accumulated over the last few years. Most of these I like. Some of them, whatever. We'll start out with Marbles Machete. This big bright orange monstrosity. It's a good thin blade, good for grass, vegetation, bamboo, whatever. Definitely not a wood processing tool. Neither is this. Another thin blade machete. This is an Ontario 12-inch. Pretty cool, lightweight, very manageable, very packable. Cold steel. I use the word loosely, kukri machete, because I've seen real kukris. This is not one of them. This is a machete. It's a little bit thicker than these two, a little more durable. I wouldn't be afraid to put this to wood. Pretty nice, very manageable, very well balanced. 1055. Okay, this is 1055 carbon steel. This would be 1095, and this is a mystery metal. I think it's probably 1075. But all three of them have, their place in my collection. If I were going to bug out with a machete, it would be this one or this one. Probably this one, because it's a little more heavy duty than these other two. But anyway, yep, there they are. Okay, moving on. We have a Baco Laplander saw. Everybody's familiar with it. Very affordable. Very nice saw. Got offset teeth on it. So it chews up wood and chews through quick. My Stihl camper's hatchet. I like this one a lot. Unfortunately, right now, my CRTK Woods Chogan Tomahawk is missing in action. So once I find it, I think I put some pictures of that up on Ready Group. Anyway, this is it's also a mystery steel. The best I can find out through my research is some kind of a like a 1065 basically, but it's a German version of it. It's a really comfortable hatchet. Can really get a good edge on it, and it holds the edge okay. Quick touch up with a file, and this thing's as good as new and ready to rock and roll. I did strip the head. The head comes with the orange coating right here for visibility. Got rid of that, and eventually I'm going to get rid of the goofy, this polyurethane on the handle. Get rid of that orange paint. But this is a really cool little hatchet. I really like this hatchet. So those are my heavy duty tools. Now we're going to take a look at pocket knives. Quick rundown on pocket knives. This is the Victorinox Checker. They also make a one-handed version of this, which has a blade with a thumb hole in it, so you can flip it open with one hand. I opted for this one instead because of the price point on it. Really cool. It's got a pretty much standard Victorinox Swiss Army blade on it, just a bigger version. Also has a really good saw, a small screwdriver with a can opener, a large screwdriver with a bottle opener. It has a punch/awl in the back and a Phillips head screwdriver, and with almost everything you get, it has the toothpick and tweezers in the back. Pretty cool knife. This is a really good urban carry knife, because you never know when you're going to need a screwdriver or something like that. So, definitely like having this one around, especially for the good beers, because you got to have a bottle opener instead of a twist off. Opinel number 8. Love this little guy. It's a carbon steel blade. Actually has a couple of more old Schrades and stuff in the house, or one Imperial actually that's carbon steel, but this is one I keep in my pocket most of the time. Very good. I can get this thing surgically sharp, almost. Well, not surgically sharp, but I get it sharp enough if I had to do some type of really fine cutting. This is a good little carving knife. It would also make a good fishing knife. I think with this knife as thin as the blade is, you could get some good fillets. But it's got a little locking ring on it. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Opinel, but they make a really cool budget knife. But like I said, I wouldn't put this one through any kind of heavy use. it'd be a good, small game skinner. Definitely get some looks when I pull it out the steakhouse and use it. Nice little, just a nice little pocket knife. Very old school in its design. I really like that one. Right here, Ontario Rat 1. Very good locking blade, folding knife. One hand open. AUS 8 steel. This is my first knife with AUS. This is my newest pocket knife, but it's also my first AUS 8 steel knife. It's not bad. It's also got a 90-degree spine, so it strikes the ferrule rod real good. Very comfortable in the hand. This clip is movable. There are 4 locations for the clip. I moved it so, I can use it because I'm left-handed. So it works real well for, rapid deployment. So, yeah, it's very good for the money. About $30 here, about $30 here. And I want to say I paid about $13 for this one. So, anyway, those are my pocket knives. Who doesn't love Moras? Moras are lightweight, fairly durable for what they are. They're affordable. There's tons of them out there. I like these 3. My preferred one is my Bushcraft Black, which is not shown here. But I like either my Bushcraft Black or this one. I like this one just because of the traditional styling, the old school. These aren't knives you want to put through any kind of heavy use. But, when it comes down to notching out wood or, making feather sticks or some carving, these guys right here will definitely come through for you. Great, great knife for a beginner right here. Definitely worth the $14, $15 you'd spend on one. But you can tell, I've been striking fire steel with them. A little carbonization on there. Doesn't bother me. I'm not the, I don't do blade polishing. I like for my knives to look like they actually get used, and they do actually get used. I don't spend a lot of time. I mean, to me, it's kind of a waste of time polishing something that you're going to be carving wood with or, beating the crap out of something with. And these are, I don't really beat on anything with these. Like I said, these are carvers. Definitely not a survival knife unless your survival skills are so advanced that this is all you need. And, some people are that advanced, I would imagine. So anyway, that's the Moras. This is my group of knives I would consider my more heavy-duty knives. We'll start with one that everybody's familiar with. And I've got it. This is not the stock sheath. I have the stock sheath in the garage. I actually like this one better. It's a Becker BK2. Stripped all the coating off of it. And went with a little finer edge than stock. Heavy duty, super heavy duty. Do anything you want with this knife. It's a good knife that can take abuse. I've split some small logs with this. 1095 Crovan steel. Great little knife here. Not the best for fine work. I would need a little more practice with it to get some fine work in, to do a good job with it. It can be done, but it's just not as much of a joy carving with this as it is carving with something like a Mora. So that's a BK2. Little brother of the BK2, BK16. I picked up a Kydex sheath for it off of eBay for about 30 bucks. This is a great knife. I love this. It's full tang. It does everything my Mora does. My Moras do, but it's a full tang knife, and I can give it a little heavier use if I want to. I put a 90-degree spine on it, so it strikes the ferrule rod really good. Give me a second here. I'll get the ferrule rod off of this one. Well, it does a real good job of getting the, works nicely. Sorry about the dogs. This knife is an old hickory butcher knife, which I've modified. I shortened the blade down to about 5.5 inches. put some tennis racket wrap around it to give it a better grip. And it goes in the Pathfinder sheath. It's a good knife. Also, this knife comes with a 90-degree spine, so you want to do some striking or some scraping, this one gets the job done nicely. But this is my flagship knife. This is a Steel Wheel Chieftain 1610, 7.5 inch blade, 1095 Crovan steel. Like the BK2, it is also a 1/4 inch thick, but it's got a very high saber grind on it, making it ideal for carving tasks. Really lends itself well to carving tasks, or if I need to baton with it, I can do it. It's got my Micarta scales, even got some nice little liners in there. Very good knife. Paid about $170 for this. It's the most expensive knife you'll see on this table today. Everything else is, you know, except for the BK 16 and the BK2, you know, this was, I can't remember, $80, maybe $75. But this is by far probably my favorite knife out of all of mine. It's got a unique style to it. I kind of like the recurve and the buoy style swedge on it up here. Very comfortable knife to hold, no hot spots. Really just kind of, it's got a nice kind of a glass breaker type pommel, not really a hammer pommel, but it could be used to hammer things. I'm very pleased with this knife. This is not something I can carry in public, obviously, because it's so big and it's very scary looking, very tactical looking. But at that point, if I don't know, I just like this knife. I mean, it looks like it'd be a good pig sticker. Lends itself well to light chopping. So, if, in an emergency, if I had to build some kind of shelter out of saplings or whatever, this would certainly do the trick. If I had to have a one-tool option, which I'm not a one-tool option person, I would definitely carry, a 4-piece kit to include, a light knife, a heavy knife, a saw, and a hatchet. That would be my 4-piece cutting tool kit. But definitely worthy of consideration as a one-tool option should you find yourself with a need for it. Also, I've done 90-degree spine on this one. So I can, hey, I got a spark in my coffee. Coffee with fresh carbonized ferrocerium in it. So anyway, those are my field knives. Now we're going to take a look at my sharpening kit. Now what I don't have here is my coarse stone, which would be my benchtop stone that I use for reprofiling edges and heavy work like that. But what I would carry in my pack would be a small diamond stone. This has a coarse side. It has a fine side. This would be for my knives. And I could, use it to put a finished edge on any of my chopping tools, machete or axe, but not normally. That's more reserved for, a mill file. Now, a mill file, for those of you that don't know the way to tell the difference between a mill file and a standard file, should you go buy a file, and I apologize for the condition of this one. This is the way I bought it, but it was cheap, and it does what I need it to do. A mill file has kind of a crisscross pattern on it, whereas any of the other kind of files you buy for whatever reason do not. So this thing will take some metal off, and this is useful for taking a knife. And if you want to create a 90-degree spine on a blade, you can give it strokes in one direction, and it'll create a little burr along one edge. Which will make it useful for working your fire steel. Also, if you take a mill file, use it on your axe or your machete, one direction, you go one direction like that, over the edge, you'll create a burr on the opposite edge, and then you just go back through, knock that burr off, and in just a few seconds, you've got a very, very aggressive edge, which is kind of what you want. You don't really You know, you can take a stone like this and clean up your edge and go with a very fine edge. You can literally get your axe down to where it'll shave. But really, who shaves with an axe? I don't. I use a razor. Now, if I want to go with a finer edge on my knives, I have this old ceramic crock stick. Works great. You know, I just give mine a few strokes like that. You know, and it'll clean that edge up really nice after, you know, a little use. Gets it razor sharp. It's really good for cleaning up an edge. Anyway, that's kind of, you know, I also have a strop. A strop's about 1.5 feet long, which I use on my knives to, you know, polish that edge up real nice. But anyway, that's about it, with the exception of a couple knives. My tomahawk is not here. My bushcraft black by Mora is not here. And the bushcraft black is among my favorite one of my favorite knives. That out of my Moras, it's either the bushcraft black or this classic number 2. Like I said, those aren't beater knives. Those aren't something you'd bash through a piece of wood. If I was going to baton, it would be this or that BK2 right there. They're the most durable. But then when I'm talking about batoning, I'm talking about something that big. Not much bigger around than that coffee cup. I mean, because look at the diameter on that. I mean, and I'm going to be specific about what I baton. If I'm batoning spruce, aspen, pine, those are softer woods. If they're not too knotty, you know, a good knife will go right through them. But if I'm really going to split something that's gnarly, I'm going to go to that. So, just a quick look at all my nifty little cutting tools. I like every one of them for different reasons. Probably the two I like, the ones I like the least are going to be this. So if I had to choose a category, a loser in each category, it's going to be this marbles. Not my favorite. These are pretty much identical. These Moras, not exactly my favorites. I'd rather have the bushcraft black or that classic number 2. And among these 3, I really can't decide which one I like the least. I like them all equally. I actually carry all 3 of them. This one resides, the clip, in one of my pockets. This one goes down in my pocket, and this one I carry in a little belt pouch. Why I need 3 pocket knives, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I like having them with me every day. So there you go. That kind of sums everything up. I think I've hit all the categories. I hate it when I get some footage and I have to redo it. So we'll go right over here. I shot that whole thing with me chopping all that crap up and realized my camera angle was bad. So, fresh piece of wood. Let's start with the hatchet. Steel, camper's hatchet. Steel wheel, Chieftain 1610. Let's secure the knife with my little mini lanyard. Cold steel, kukri machete, and I use the term kukri lightly. But still, pretty decent chopping knife. quick demonstration of the versatility of this knife because of that big, high saber grind. Not only does the 1/4 inch thickness make it a pretty durable knife, but the high saber grind really helps you get in to be able to do some fine work. Sorry guys, I'm a little winded. I'm out of frame. I'm so sorry. So, that's a good knife. I was really impressed with that knife. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. This is a Christmas gift from last year, and I asked for a BK7, but the people we bought it from, they were all out of BK7s. So the guy talked my wife into this one, and she brought that home. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see. And I liked it, and I immediately stripped the coating off of it because it's got this black coating all over the blades. These tactical blades now, they do. Anyway, there it is. So, thank y'all for bearing with me and watching my self-serving cutting tool video. I appreciate it.